Welcome back to my channel, my dear students. I hope everyone is doing great. Great to see you all in high spirits. And today we are going to learn about the blood platelets. So before diving into that, we have already discussed about the blood, about its functions. And in continuation with that, we have learned about the different components of the blood, including the plasma, red blood cells, and the white blood cells. And it's time for the platelets, right? So the blood platelets that we are going to learn, students, these blood platelets are also called as thrombocytes, right? So that is another name of blood platelets, thrombocytes, right? So about these blood components, I want to tell you about this blood platelets. I want to tell you that these blood platelets are responsible for blood clotting. That is the prime, or you can say the main function of platelets is blood clotting, or we call it as blood coagulation. The term is called as blood coagulation, right? So talking about the blood clotting and the blood coagulation, this blood clotting is actually what? This is actually a process, my dear students. So this process is what? That is there to prevent the water loss, to prevent the blood loss, sorry. So process in which the circulating blood elements, we see a lot of blood elements, right, circulating. So circulating blood elements, these are converted to elements, converted to an insoluble gel-like structure. Right? Why this gel-like structure is forming? You see that whenever you are having any injury at that time, we are seeing that the blood is getting like settled in the form of an insoluble gel-like structure. That is the clot, we call it. So that clotting is actually this process is called as blood clotting. The clot formation, or you can say the insoluble gel-like structure, that is called as the clot. We call it as clot, okay? Right? To prevent the blood loss. At injury site. So that is about the blood clotting and the blood coagulation. How this coagulation is happening, how this process is undergoing. Let's understand about it. So when we talk about the coagulation process starts with the activation of tissue factor. It starts with the activation of tissue factor. This tissue factor is getting activated, right? And when this tissue factor is getting activated, at that time, the injured tissues, the tissues which are injured, and the platelets, these injured tissues and the platelets, these are leading to the activation of thromboplastin. Thromboplastin is getting activated. Okay. And the activation of thromboplastin. And then what is happening? After the activation of this thromboplastin, in that case, we see that this thromboplastin is having the calcium ions. The calcium ions are attaching with it. Right? And along with the calcium ions, these are responsible to form the prothrombinase. What is forming? Prothrombinase. And this prothrombinase further leads to the formation of prothrombin. Right? And this prothrombin further leads to the formation of thrombin. Okay, students, this is like a complete flow chart. Please try to make the flow chart whenever the platelets or any coagulation, how this coagulation process happens. Please try to make this flow chart and also write down all the information. So that will gain you marks, because the flow chart will help the examiner to understand about that you know about everything. It's just you are giving a flow chart and overview that you know everything. To try to be like more presentable in your answers. That is my humble request to all my dear students who are watching this channel. Thrombin, right? And students, this thrombin is actually responsible to act on fibrinogen. It is acting on fibrinogen, right? And this fibrinogen, when we talk about this fibrinogen, cleaves to form. This is actually cleaving to form the fibrin. Right? And this fibrin along with the platelets, these are responsible to form clot, to prevent the water loss, to prevent the blood loss. So that's how this blood loss is getting prevented by the help of clot formation. And that's how these platelets are acting. So first of all, the tissue factor is getting activated, and the injured tissues and the platelets are combining to activate the thromboplastin, and the calcium ions along with the thromboplastin forms, or these are responsible to activate the prothrombinase. Prothrombinase leads to the formation of prothrombin. Prothrombin leads to the formation of thrombin, and this thrombin is acting on the fibrinogen. This fibrinogen further cleaves to form the fibrin, and this fibrin along with the platelets forms the clot. So that is how this clot formation is happening. I hope you all enjoyed learning the platelet journey with me. So keep learning, keep shining like this, and do perform well in your examinations. All the best. Thank you so much for watching the channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much. Bye bye, everyone.